Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mampolo from Mampolo's Corner. Myself. Guys, not only Nigeria goes, it's a looting. Looting when somebody loots. Since like about 30 years, 25 years ago, when them thief, they still they talk about them. They still they talk about them till today. Still in one president, still since 30 years ago, 25 years ago, 28 years ago. Now, when I see the investigator, where the money go, where the money no go, who hold the money, what did they use the money go, the money when they recover, what did they use that for? When they ask the question this time, not only in Africa, not only in Nigeria, they hear this kind of stupid things. They come out. Imagine somebody still for a country like United Kingdom, America, Canada, for how many years? They talk about them now. They even reach 6 months. Everything don't go down. People when they go prison, don't go prison. Everything. People don't. I don't understand this country. These guys now, they're going to talk in the next 50 years to come. Yes. They never judge them. I don't know the court system when they for this country, the judicial system, how slow they can be. I was talking about Abacha looting this time. Oh, I was talking about looting when happened since 30 years ago, 25 years ago, 28 years ago, 27 years ago. Now, where is the money and where is not the money? I don't even want to talk too much. For those who don't understand what I'm talking about, let's watch. Watch video.
Trending, with reactions trailing an order by the Federal High Court in Abuja requesting the federal government to account for the $5 billion Abacha loot and for the details of the spending to be made public in a judgment delivered on July 3rd in a case filed by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project. The presiding judge, James Omotosho, ordered President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to disclose the exact amount of money stolen by General Sani Abacha from Nigeria, the total amount recovered, and all agreements signed by the governments of former presidents Olusegun Obasanjo, Umaru Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan, and Muhammadu Buhari. The judge also ordered the government to disclose the details of the projects executed with the Abacha loot, locations of any such projects, and the names of companies and contractors that carried out the projects since the return of democracy in 1999 till date, as well as the specific roles played by the World Bank and other partners in the execution of any projects funded with the Abacha loot. Let's take some reactions, Dr. Abati, before we discuss. This is from Arinze, who wrote, "How did $5 billion leave Nigeria? Where did the funds come from? Which federal government account? How was it taken abroad? Where was it placed?" Then we can begin to discuss how it came back and so on. I guess he posed a lot of questions there. This is from Dr. Bature. He wrote, "This is a win for Nigeria at large. Courtesy Serap Nigeria, the $5 billion truly needs to be accounted for. What are the projects executed with the recovered loot? We didn't feel the positive impact of the recovered loot. I hope there will be full compliance with the judgment. It is our money." Dr. Abati, it is our money. I know you always use that. I mean, Nigerians are saying it's our money. But again, it is a big win for Serap. You know that Serap has been doing the Lord's work in, filing these cases. And this is a new administration. And I'm hoping that they will do right by this judgment. That is actually the question. What's going to happen? With this judgment, they're saying that it should comply within 7 days. What's going to happen if there's no compliance?
Number one. Yes, I agree with you absolutely. That is a big win for SERAP, Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, a civil society group, a non-governmental organization that has been very active, that has been in the forefront of raising questions about the economy, about accountability, and using the Freedom of Information Act majorly as a tool of engaging the Nigerian state. Now, the major issue here is about the right of the citizen to know.
Yes.
Because we have the right to know. So when you say it is our money, what you are saying also is that the people who are the owners of the money have the right to know how that money was spent. That's number one. Number two, it's also a reminder of the kind of corruption that went on under General Sani Abacha. As the Nigerian government, one after the other, got money either from Switzerland or the Cayman Islands or from New Jersey. Abacha got a new title as the ancestor that is always given from the grave, because it looks like there was no end, to the amount of money that have been stashed away, which is also why in many of these African countries, and also at the level of the AU, this illicit illicit transfer of national treasure to banks overseas to safe havens has been a major problem. Now, let me go back to the point about how it's a triumph for SERAP in terms of using the Freedom of Information Act. Justice James Omotosho based the ruling on Section 7 of the Freedom of Information Act. Section 7 of the Freedom of Information Act simply says that, look, if a public institution is going to deny access to information that is being requested, now you must state reasons why you are not granting that access. And you must communicate same to the body or group that is asking for that information, the applicant, seeking access to that particular information. If you do not do so, you are liable under that Section 7 of the Freedom of Information Act to a fine of 500,000 naira, and the applicant can seek redress in court. So what SERAP has done is to go to court, and the court has now ruled that the Ministry of Finance cannot avail itself of the provisions of Section 7 of the Freedom of Information Act. So it's simply, a matter of law, and the expectation is that the Ministry of Finance must respect the ruling of the court. Okay, it has the option of going on appeal, but the ruling of the Court of Justice Omotosho for now is that within 7 days, it must comply. What the court has done is to stress accountability, is to hold the Ministry of Finance down to the people's right to know how their money was spent. It was looted, it was returned, how was it spent? I think, the ruling is very straightforward, and it is, it is something that will gladden the hearts of many people who have been seeking enforcement of freedom of information. And many people must be alarmed that the Federal Ministry of Finance will say it has no records.
This is my question.
No, how can the Ministry of Finance of Nigeria not have records?
Yes, this is it.
This is the bigger question.
How did that happen, Rufai? I mean, you talked about some of the loot that had been returned, I believe one from Jersey, and then I think that they had shared that money in that social register. I don't know if you recall that. I think that was 2 years ago.
I mean, a lot was done with the money.
With that money. But this is the first time that we are seeing that it's $5 billion that aggregate, because, there was a lot of discrepancy, whether it was 3 billion or whether...
Yeah,
it's good that we are seeing this now.
So SERAP says 5 billion. God knows it could be more.
Yeah.
Because what we know was that the monies they started returning from the early 1999 to 2000. Swiss government returned a couple, 750 million, in trickles. I think there was an infographic by the BBC a couple of years ago that says 3.25 billion. We don't know how much exactly is the money. I remember the case you were talking about, Malami, the last tranche of return. They said the government was going to be put into some highway. I think Abuja Kano highway and the condition and all of that, which a lot of people kicked against, but they said those were the conditions. And I think the Attorney General there, Malami, defended it. And we had all of this go on for a while. The question is, we deceive ourselves too much in this country.
Yes.
Because you ask a question, how did the money go out? The bagmen that helped him carry that money out, they're still around in Nigeria today. They're living a good life, and life has moved on.
Yes.
We all know what happens in this country. So people are not corrupt alone. They do it with other bagmen. And help them bag the money out, and they're free people today. And the truth has to be said. If we truly want to build this country, let us have a country that has a lot of integrity. We can laugh about it and say, Abacha now is our ancestor sending us money. But this is the money they ought to use to build schools and do infrastructure for people. Some of these monies were carried in cash out of this country.
So sad.
We all remember. And this was a man. Abacha got in 1993 after he removed the National Corps from Fidihe.
Yes.
And he died on the 8th of June, 1998.
98.
In 5 years, he bled the country dry. Do you know how many more people are bleeding the country with their bagmen?
Bad man.
Is this one? Maybe it's because of the magnanimity of the foreign nations that say, oh, come and see, you have money here. What if we never got? Do you know how many? The chance. And we're saying Nigeria is broke, is poor. Because people are fleecing the country dry every day. People and their bagmen that are still around are moving everywhere.
Demons.
Wasn't the foreign leader that once said, when we're asking for debt relief, and the foreign leader said, if you check the bank accounts of Nigerians abroad, you would not even want to forgive Nigeria's debts. And the money was put in every part, Switzerland, Jersey, and all of that. But the accomplices are around, and we move on, and we celebrate them in society. You see, this country is a country that we've built in such a way that only favors those that are on the top, and those below can go and die. But except we change our status quo, nothing will change. Yes. So for your question that you asked, how did the money move around? The bagmen are still very much around, and life has moved on from there. And I'm also happy, Serap is, as Dr. Bati said, asking for FOI to be able to get all the details of this and all of that. But the sad reality is, as we speak, maybe in the future, when we get to look back, a lot of something is still happening. It's Nigeria. It's the corruption. The day we change that mentality and use the money for the citizen, Nigeria will be better. Yes. We can actually build a great country. Yes, but we see what happens because of corruption.
You talked about integrity in leadership. We're hoping that this new administration will be able to account for those funds.
It's all right. When I don't see the video, no, I want to ask a question. So not only Abacha single-handedly looted 5 billion US dollar, only Abacha. Not be million, no, billion. Only Abacha do am. When the Igbo people they call accomplices, where than they? Where are the accomplices? They don't see that alive, Abi. Then they galan fat. You know them. So since after 25 years, when Abacha died, 1998, that's 25 years today. We see they investigate. We see they investigate this looting. The backward one Africa there, the backward one with there, get part two. Now me talk go and verify. After 25 years of thief die, I see they investigate that looting till now. Till now, I don't even know where the money they, what did they use and do, the one that return, who use them, who hold them, who no hold them. The thing is confusing. People when support them, loot the money, when loot such amount of money, when I don't still know them till today, will they find them? Nigeria, which way? Which way would they? When I say that this government, now court don't give order. Court don't give them mandate. Make them go to investigate where money they, Abi, where Abacha money they. This government. Now that I know, say we are totally blind. So now this government, this APC government, now go investigate where looting of Abacha they. Who hold them now? The one when they return, what did they use and do? And people want it there for their hand. We are going nowhere in this country with assurance. I don't want to talk too much, guys. If you love what you're doing, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, even on TikTok. All of my followers can love, guys. Peace out.